Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, wherever you're from today. We're really excited to present to you our webinar today on point repair and reinstating lateral connections. What I'd like to do is just introduce you to the team. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Dawn Gregg and I'm Senior Director at Pacote. I'm working out of our UK office today. And with me behind the scenes, I have Steph Richardson, our Marketing and Communications Manager, and she'll be popping in lots of useful links into the chat as we go along. I'm also joined by our Director of Technical Client Services, Richard Swan. He's also based out of our UK training centre here, which is in Sandhurst near London. And today we're going to be actually doing our live demos from our Finnish training centre, which is in Porvoo, about 45 minutes from Helsinki. And over there, we've got our dream team. We've got Jukka Villuma, he's our senior technical training guy over there. And we've also got Kimo, who is our training centre manager. So very experienced team here today. We're really excited to bring you information about our fantastic bendy packer system for point repair, all of the tools that Pacote uses for doing those types of point repairs. And then we'll go into different ways that you can do lateral reinstatements in ways that are very simple, very efficient, of course, and very cost saving for you as well. Pacote's got a fantastic range of tools for all of those possibilities. Over to you, Richard.
Thank you very much, Dawn. Okay, so first off, the lads are going to do a demonstration using our bendy packer. And this allows you to install localized repairs or patches around bends. I'll hand over to Kimo, and then he will talk you through the preparation and installation.
All right, so the bendy packer is, like the name says, for patch repairing bends in pipes. And the idea is that it inflates from the center first to outwards on the both ends, so you get always the perfect result in the bends. And you can also use this for pipe patching in the straight pipes. And we have here some examples. For example, this green one. So we have in the bigger sizes, we have the color coding. So the green one is from DN70 to 100, or let's say 3 inch to 4 inch. And the next size from there is a blue one, and it's from DN 100 to 150, or 4 inch to 6 inch. And we also have the smaller sizes. Just quickly showing this. So the DN50, and it has its integrated push rod. And the idea why it has the integrated push rod is because usually those repairs are done in a short distances. So this one has its own push rod. And same with this DN70 or 3 inch packer, it has its own integrated push rod. And this DN50 or 2 inch packer is black, and this 3 inch or 70 millimeter bendy packer is silver. So it's really easy to see what size you're using, and then we have the bigger sizes like the red one and so on. And you can also get this length you need for your project. You can have custom lengths, and those are all listed in our brochure. And what makes our bendy packer unique is these features. For example, we have this length limitation inside, so it will always stay the same length when you inflate it. We have on the end, you push this in the pipe, we have a hole here. And so in difficult installations where you need this extra pushing force, you can also add a glass fiber push rod into this hole, and it goes all the way through the packer to the front. And this is how the glass fiber push rod looks like. So it's on a reel like a camera. So you can push that push rod to the front. So that's called the front wheel drive or something like that. Because this is anyway flexible package, and if you have a larger packer through the multiple bends, you want to have something on the front to push it through those difficult spots. Also on the front we have this threaded end, and you can have either like a pull loop, so you can push and pull, and then we have these navigation guides. And for those, we have 3 different sizes. So they look like this, how could I say? It's this flexible spring, and it has this guide ball on the front. So this makes it really easily to navigate through the bends. And again, it fits here, just like screwing it in, and it will stay on its place. And in the other end, we have this connector for our Picote push rods. So these are the Picote push rods, and they're really flexible, and you can push this easily through the even 90-degree bends. And as you can see, even if I bolt this like this, it won't kink the bend or break from the bend. It will stay. It will hold its form, and it's nice and stiff to push the difficult spots. And it has this Steinco connector, so when I connect it to the packer, it has this safety locking connector, and then I can still turn the packer with this. So this connector is hexagonal, and I have this turning, and sometimes when I have a difficult bend to go through, it helps that I have this ability to turn this with our push rods. So the next, we are going to do the demo. So Jukka is preparing me resin, and then we are going to push this packer into the pipe. Of course, it's difficult to show in the camera how it looks in the bend because it's not transparent, but you get the idea. We will show that process now. It doesn't take too much time. So preparing the packer, I use plastic foil to cover the packer all the way. So after the installation, the plastic foil comes off, and the packer is good to go for the next installation. So it's like
Kimmo, what would be the lifespan then for those packers?
Well, it's difficult to say how long this will last, how many installations. Let's say if you take a good care of it, you really don't need to renew this often. But in some cases, if you have, let's say, a pipe with the huge crevices or those cracks, let's say you are missing half of the pipe, it's better to use something more rigid, like a calibration hose top of the packer, that it doesn't over expand there. But usually these are long lasting, and also if you break the packer, we can fix it in our service center. So it's not like a single use tool that you can use it many times and repair it.
No, thanks, Kimmo. So this is actually quite an important stage, not just for being quick and easy, but also for protecting your packer as well.
And it's always with this kind of tools that it's difficult to say how long they last, but this is meant to last. As long this kind of like a rubber tube in the pipe can do its work, it's good. So I just protect this packer with this like a kitchen wrap So I wrap this in a 45-degree angle. And we actually, in our manual, when you get the packer, it tells everything step by step, how to use this, all the pressure and so on, that it's really easy to look up this information. So I just wrap this with the foil like this. I set this aside. And then we get the epoxy, and for patching, I'm using this piece of liner, and I have these paper strings on the front. Of course, you can use this with any kind of patching material, but how we are used to use it, we have take a piece of liner, fold it inside out, add the resin, and then the paper strings are holding it with the rubber bands on the packer, and then when it's cured, I pull out the packer and these strings will break off.
When preparing, you'll notice here that we put that Chemo's putting multiple gloves on. That's because as he wets it out, obviously he's going to get resin over his gloves. And then we don't want any resin getting onto the packer or onto the packer connections. So what he'll do is, as he moves along, he can always take a glove off and he's got another clean gloves underneath.
So then I add the resin and I just make sure that I don't have any dry spots. It's pretty straightforward how this works.
And this is really just for illustrative purposes, isn't it? Because Picote doesn't sell the resin or the liner. So
So when I'm happy with that, I can just change my gloves. And then I take the packer, I feed it through the lining piece. And I put it in the middle. And we also, in the manual, we have this safety zone. So it's around, I would say, maybe 4 inches or 5 inches from the end of the packer here, that if we use a longer patch piece, that we need to leave the packer exposed, because then it inflates there. That to make sure that it's fully inflated, we have this safety zone. We have plenty of space with this packer. So then it depends on the needs, like if you want to patch longer pipes or repair longer sections, then of course you need a bigger or longer packer, but then it's more difficult to push in the pipe. So everybody has their own preferences.
So as you can see here, we're inside, the patch is put on there. The liner is well within the full inflation zone.
So now I just cut this plastic wrap a little bit, so I can access this the front, and there is where I'm going to use this navigation guide. So it just goes in, screwing it in. It has the M8 thread. And now it's there. And then I take this paper strings and I attach these to the front. And there is many styles to do this, but this is one what I find personally. It's the good way to hold the patch piece on the where I want it to be.
So the steering guide not only helps you go around and navigate bends, it also helps you to navigate displaced joints in the pipe as well. So we're using the 100 to 150 or the 3 to 4 inch packer, which means once we've installed it in the pipe, Chemo is going to inflate it to 2.5 bar or 36 psi.
And it's with the packer, it's really easy to see how much you need the pressure. We have a sticker here and the QR code, so you can always check the manual really easily or just check the pressure here. It's really easy to use and you don't need to remember that stuff. So for extra security, I'm just adding some rubber bands here.
So we're putting the elastic bands over from the front end and not the back end, so there's less risk of us getting resin onto the connector for the rods.
So this is how it looks when it's ready to go into the pipe. And we already measured how long we need to go, and there's many ways to do it. Usually I push the camera on the problem spot, make a tape mark on the problem spot, and then I measure from the center, from the packer, that I take the camera out, I put it on the center of the packer and attach the push rods and so on. So I know when I go into the pipe with the patch piece and I have the same mark from my camera cable to the push rods, I know I'm on the right spot. That my problem area is here where I want to land the packer. So next we move to the installation site and we push this in the pipe. And underneath here, I have one 90-degree bend. So I attach the push rod, make sure that it's locked. And then I push the packer inside the pipe. And this is my measurement. So when this tape measurement is on the edge of the pipe, I know that I'm on the right spot. So I would say that I'm there. And connecting air to the push rod, I need this air adapter. I close the valve. Then I take my air air regulator, and this goes to 4 bars. So with the packers, obviously you are going to need this pressure regulator what goes up to like 4 bar, and I already set my pressure to 2.5 bar. I connect this, and then I just slowly open the valve, and the packer is filled with pressurized air. And like I said, it inflates from the center first on both directions, so it will create really nice result in bends. I recheck my pressure and yeah, then it's ready to go.
So one of the big advantages of using the Coke push rods is that our push rods are actually a push and a pull, which means you don't have to have a cable on the rear of the packer to pull it out once the patch has been cured and you've deflated the packer.
We are going to show the sample piece from the finished result, and then we proceed to the reinstatements. So this is a sample from the bendy packer. So as you can see, I don't know how well it picks in the camera, but this the bend is really nice when it, in this case, inflating the packer started from here and it went on both ends, and this is the result. It's really wrinkle free and it's all the way smooth. The liner is not skipping anything, and yeah, you will get this really smooth result. And this is done with the same packer I just used for the demo. And then there's a different example with from 70 to 100 transition. So
what you can also do as precaution is that once we inflated, well, before we inflate it, we can actually connect a pressure guard onto the air supply. So whilst it's curing, the pressure guard will be monitoring the internal pressure. So if we have an air leak or we have a fault on the compressor and we lose air pressure, then the pressure guard will send a text message to the mobile phone and to the office, to the operator, so they're aware that there's a problem on site, which means they can then go back and sort out the issue. What Chemo's going to do, while I've been waffling on a bit here, is putting on the table all of the tools that are available for doing what we call lateral reinstatements. So lateral reinstatement is where you install the liner or a patch across a live connection stroke junction, and obviously we need to then reinstate that junction. So these are the tools that we use. Over to you, Chemo.
So reinstating the connections is that if you're in the cast iron of plastic pipe or other usually old pipes in bad condition, and you need to be really careful to reinstate your line connections. So one option is, or the safest option, what we offer is the twister. And the twister, it comes, you can use this with the mini miller or super midi. So it's 8, 10 and 12 millimeter shaft. And we have this front drill head and the process. And the process are centralizing the front drill head, that when the reinstatement is done, the front drill head is not hitting the pipe wall. And then, because the processes are bigger than the front drill head, so then you have a little bit left what you need to finish off after this goes through the lining. Then we use the smart cutter to finish that reinstatement. And then these come in many different sizes. So we can do even 2-inch or 50 millimeters. It's something what we do daily with these tools. So then it would look like something like this with the 8 millimeter shaft, or for example, using with the mini miller. And then one nice thing what I like about these smart cutters, because they go from the small size to the bigger ones. So for example, this hub I'm using, so the panels are of course like the consumables, and then the centerpiece where you attach the panels, this is something what like basically lasts like a half of the lifetime. And what I like about this, that there's so many different sizes and models from the smart cutter, but the point is that when you go from the 8mm shaft, and this is the biggest one for the 8mm shaft, and then for 12mm shaft, you can also have the same hub, and then it goes bigger from there. And we have thought about this, that what hub works with what shaft, because obviously if you use any bigger than this hub with 8mm, it won't work, so then you have to go with the bigger machine. So we have all the ranges from 8mm to 18mm shafts, and then with like for example 6 panels and so on. So there is solution for every pipe. And the rule of thumb with these tools is always to go into the pipe with the biggest hub and the biggest panels, that it's the most fastest or the most efficient way to reinstate the connection. But then you also have to be able to take the tool out from the pipe. But let's say that it doesn't need extensive training to learn that. So these are really some tools that anybody can use who does the lining, and there is not much parts which could break. So it's basically you have the shaft, you have this hub which holds the side grinding panels, and it's simple as that. And one thing about these twister tools, we have for each pipe size, we have 2 different twisters. We have the unlined, which is the more common. So when you go through the pipe to reinstate a lined pipe, and in that pipe there's no liner inside yet. And then we have the lined twister. So because the lined pipes are a little bit smaller than the original hose pipe, so then we have also a twister for those pipes. So let's say DN100 unlined, DN100 lined twister. So we have thought about that. Then we have the special drill heads in a case when you reinstate a connection, let's say 3 inch to 4 inch, and the access is 3 inch. You can't fit the twister through that connection or through that pipe. So then we have the special drill heads. And of course they are a little bit more rough for the pipe because there's no brush to centralize it, but there's no other option, and we use this daily in our projects and without any issues. So, and again, there is many kinds of different special drill heads. And for example, I can come closer to the camera. I can show these 2, and the one with the round shape is for plastic pipe, so it won't bounce around so much when you do the reinstatement, and then the skewer one is better for, let's say, cast iron. But it's always depends on the case, what you're doing and so on. And for that, obviously, we offer also the training. And next, we are going to do the demo with the Tiger Twister unlined pipe. So I'll just show it how it looks. So this is the Tiger Twister for unlined pipe. So we cut the connection with this, and then we are going to finish the connection with this smart cutter with 4 side grinding panels. After that, we do one more reinstatement, and that's more aggressive. And we are going to use this express drill chain. So we have the front drill head integrated to this tool, and then the chains are doing the cutting. And these can be replaced. So if the chain breaks, you can replace the chain, or if the front drill head goes dull, or if you lose it, you can change that. So it's attached here with screws to the chain.
Okay, Kimo, before you move away to do a demo, one quick tip here is that if you're going to line the main pipe, and then if you're going to come down, and with these twisters, we have to come down the lateral connection. Okay, so it's very important that before you line the main pipe, you clean the main pipe, but you also clean the lateral that you're going to go down. Because what happens is you clean the lateral, all the debris will fall in front of you and will drop into the main pipe, and then you'll clean the main pipe. Right? If you don't clean the lateral, what happens is that when we go down, and when you go down with the twister, it starts to clean the inside of the lateral pipe, and all that debris will then fall on top of the liner that you want to cut through. Okay, so then it's going to make it harder to cut through the liner. The tools you've seen here are all suitable, and we keep talking about the machines. When we mean the machines, obviously we're talking about the Picote millers and high-speed cleaning. So we have a range of machines. The 8mm shaft machines are the mini miller, mini cleaner. We have a 10mm machine, which is the midi cleaner. And then we have the super midi and maxi miller, which have 12mm shafts on them as well. So yes, the tools work, but our tools work with our high-speed millers, and generally they'll rotate somewhere between 900 to 1200 RPM when we're using them. Okay, and I think today, Kimo, you're using the super midi, aren't you? Which is the 12mm machine, 1/2-inch shaft, and it has a working length of 20 meters.
Yes, thank you, Richard. That's a good addition to this. There's so much information about these things, but also it's really simple. And yeah, let's go with do the reinstatement. So first we use the twister, smart cutter, and then the express drill chain. So now we just check the connection. So I think you can see from the background the TV. So if you can, in the left hand corner, you can see the TV and the view I have in the camera. So I go through the lateral, and here is my lined connection. And it looks like that. It's closed. And then if I go through the main, we can then try to find the same connection which is around here. Yeah, I think I see it there. And next, I will take the shaft from the miller. So this is the super midi, and it has 12mm shaft, and I just attach this twister tool to the shaft of the machine. Oops. Oletko Jukka nuo kuulossuojaimet tuolta? No tuossa ilmalämpöpumpun päällä. Thank you. So you want to make sure that you have all these set screws connected properly. And now I go through the lateral. And there is a few bends down. And I think I'm in the liner, so I start the machine and then I just take this. And one great feature with all of our machines is if I catch the tool into the liner, the machine stops. So I don't need to be afraid of this flexible shaft I have in my hands. And there is no moving parts here, so it's completely safe for me. I have this foot pedal I'm operating the machine with. So now I start to reinstate the connection and let's see what happens.
What Kimmo's doing, he's slowly moving the shaft backwards and forwards.
So now we can see that I'm starting to get through.
Again, we're just putting steady pressure on the cutter. And so now I just check the connection.
And I checked that if there is enough space for the smart cutter, and I can see that I only have this flap, which is soft material. So I can already switch to the smart cutter, but as you can see, or I don't know how well it picks on the screen, but there is not even a scratch on the plastic pipe around the line connection. So then I'll remove the twister and replace the tool with the smart cutter. Tästä joku vei 2 ruuvia. So somebody had stole the screws from the smart cutter, so I need to borrow them from the twister. But that happens.
That goes to show how interchangeable all Picote tools are.
Yeah. And let's say that that's quite normal when you work at the job site, that things go
Real life
missing.
experience.
Yeah. And these are really simple tools, and I have done the real job sites a lot, and of course I can't say anything else since I work here, but honestly this smart cutter replaced all my cutting tools I was using in the past, and I have been on the job sites for over 10 years, and it was really common tools that what I was using before I joined to work with Picote. So I have this smart cutter, and then I can just show how it looks when I turn the machine. So I just fold the panels and push them into the pipe. And it's quite easy to just push the whole package inside. But when you have a bend, like now it's in the 90-degree bend, I just put the machine a little bit lower, lower speed, and then I just tap the gas pedal, that it just goes through those bends. And now we are on the connection, and then I just start to grind it open.
So I've just muted it so we don't get the noise, so you can hear me talk this time. So what we're doing here is just moving the panels backwards and forwards through the connection. Okay, those grinding panels will slowly ground away the excess lining material. Now, what the tip here is that you don't want to run the panels too fast, because what happens is it skips over. Okay, now these panels are great for obviously here doing the reinstatement and just grinding back the cured in place liner, but they can also grind away steel, metal, plastic. So they're a great addition to your toolbox. Another advantage of the smart cutter is that we can put a front drill head and the front metal panel on there. Okay, and another great one is that one hub will do at least 2 pipe diameters. think Kimo's back now.
So I did the cutting from the lateral, and this is the result. And I'm happy with that. And there is something still left in the main because, well, the liner we use, sometimes you have a flap in the main, so that I'm going to remove from the main side. So then we just check the result. So here it's good. And when we go through the main, it's this one. So it's perfectly reinstated connection with really simple tools. So next we do the same, but in cast iron and with the express drill chain.
So are they moving the equipment around? All the tools. So all the information on the tools and the millers are available on the Picote Institute. And one of the other hidden secrets really of the Picote millers is that Kimo was sat down on a stool, but when you are actually on the job site, you'll see that on the top of the machine when it's sat down there's the nameplate, and that nameplate doubles up as a seat. So if you're using the machines properly, you sit the machines on the ground and then you very carefully place your bottom on the nameplate and you have a ready-made stool. But the beauty about this is that with high-speed cleaning, we always say that you let the tool do the work. And if you're actually sat down on the machine, it's very hard to exert any hard pressure or push the shaft against the blockage or whatever you're trying to cut out. Okay. Whereas if you stood up, you can exert a lot more pressure, and actually that will actually slow down the process of what we're trying to do. So when you use the machine, we always recommend that you sit down on the nameplate. And also the foot switch that we use is purely there to be used with your foot, not to hand or stick a brick or something inside the foot switch to keep the machine operating. It's there as a safety device. So here's the smart cutter. You can see there's very little wear on here on the job that we've just done. What we normally say is, you know, once the panel is worn down, you can either trim it back to use it on the smaller machine or save the panel, the warm panel. So if you've got an area where you need to be very delicate, you can use the old panels. The grinding panels we have available in three types. We have the finishing panels that are really soft. We have standard, and then we have the XT extra tough panels that are more suitable for grinding metal and glass fiber liners away. Right, Chemo, to talk about the express drill chain.
And one thing with this express drill chain is that this is for more advanced users, that you can also cause a lot of damage with this, but when you know what you're doing, you have lots of reinstatements, and you use the connection collar, then this is a really good tool to go with. So it's fast, you can cut open, and it doesn't matter if you even break the connection, because then you are going to install the connection collar.
As you can see here, both these tools, we have what they're fitted to what we call a leader. So what we're actually doing is saving time and reducing the wear and tear on the actual shaft and outer casing on the actual machine by using these leaders.
We'll show this connection again. So I go through the DN100 or 4-inch cast iron. We have one bend, and then there is again a lined connection which we are going to open with the express drill chain. And yeah, this will be the next level noisy. So I think Richard will mute me, and yeah, we will go with this. So.
So I just want to point out that Steph has put into the chat all of these lovely tools that we've been seeing so far. So there's information about all of them on there individually. But like Richard also said, you can go to the Picote Institute at picotinstitute.com, where you'll also find a range of videos that show the same thing, as well as some free courses on there as well. It's completely free to register, and it's a really worthwhile resource where you can find all of this information and more, and also at picotegroup.com.
Okay, so thank you, Dawn. As you can see now, the drill head has already started to penetrate through the inside of the liner. Difference between this tool is that you'll see Chemo is pushing it, pulling it, pushing it, pulling it. So we're sort of hammering away down through the liner. So it's very, very efficient. And as you can see here, it's been a lot quicker using here. As soon as the drill head comes through, then the chains will start cutting and open up the hole, make it bigger, which means there's very little work, if nothing at all, for the smart cutter, for the need to use the smart cutter. But like I said, this is you've got to be skilled in using the tool, and also you've got to be careful, certainly if we're using it in plastic pipes, making sure we don't cause any damage. But you can see here now we've nearly done the reinstatement already. So also we've got individual tools available, but we also do the kits. So we have the starter kits, the pro cleaning kits, and the pro cutting kits for doing this type of work. So you actually buy a kit per pipe diameter. So if you're always working in DM 100 or 4-inch pipes, then the pro cleaning or the pro cutting kit will be a really good purchase. And again, further information on the kits are available on the website and the Picote Institute. So again, we bring the tool back out and put the camera down and just keep checking It's always good when we're using these tools or any of our tools is after working for 10 to 15 minutes is to put the camera down to see what progress you've made.
So we can check the result, and always turn your machine off when the tool is not in the pipe. So we did it with the express drill chain, and yeah, so this is the front drill head and the chain is behind that, and this is available only for 10 and 12 millimeter shaft, because this is such a rough tool that the 8 millimeter wouldn't make any sense. And yeah, so now we can go to the TV. So if let's show it from here. So just a second, we show it from the main pipe and then we show it from the lateral. But this is now the result that it's opened here, and then we'll see it from the lateral.
So as Kimo said, the express drill chain is suitable for use with the Picote MIDI cleaner, the Super MIDI and the Maxi Miller.
So then this is the result, and remember this is like a 45-degree angle connection. So if it would be the 90, it's much easier to remove this excess. There's still a little bit left, so I would keep grinding more with the chain, but it's still depending again on the connection and so on. But for such a short time of reinstating, this is pretty good result.
Thanks, Kimo. So those were the two reinstatements that you're planning to do today. Of course, there is a whole range of tools available for other possibilities as well, isn't there, in different types of pipe or pipe sizes. Thank you very much. I think it's been very informative. The main thing to remember about Picote Millers is that there's a huge range of tools. Like Richard said earlier, for first preparing the pipe by cleaning, we have a whole range of tools that just attach to the end of that flexible shaft. And then for doing the works like reinstatement as well. So we have the packers to do the point repair, and we have the tools to do the cleaning and the reinstatement as well. So that's been really, really useful. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to pop them in the Q&A or even in the chat, and we'll answer those with our technical team now. Otherwise, if you can't think of anything right now, maybe you want to go away and have a little bit more of a think about it. We're all available. You'll find our details on Picote Group website, picotegroup.com. Everyone that you can see here today, Kimo, Yuka, Richard, myself, we're all on there. Please reach out to any one of us for technical questions. I would suggest you reach out to Kimo, Yuka and Richard, but we're all available to help you out. There's a huge amount of resources at picotegroup.com, and there's even more on picoteinstitute.com, completely free resource, like I said before. There you can find all of those fact sheets that Steph already put in the chat for you, and all the links as well. You can find videos from there, tech tips, and even you can ask questions of our technical team directly on Picote Institute as well. So we're here for you. We're here to help in any way that we can, and we'd be delighted to do that.
Just add one thing else, Dawn, is that if you've invested in and it's invested in the Picote tools, the Picote equipment, then I highly recommend that you visit one of our training centres, either here in Sandhurst in the UK, in Finland, at Porvoo, or in the USA, and attend one of our training courses.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
a
you get
very
a lot
good
more.
point, Richard. We do have some courses with certification available as well on our Miller range on CIPP, and of course our brush coating system as well. And if you have done the point repair, or you've aligned the main, and then you've reinstated the connection, you can also completely seal that by using our connection collar system too. We have done webinars about that in the past, and all of our webinars are available to view on YouTube, as this one will be as well when we're done. But again, if you have any questions at all, then please feel free to reach out. But like Richard said, you can train with this top technical team either in Finland, UK, or in Arizona, USA, or at your own location as well. Anything's possible at the World of Picote. So
Even virtual training.
virtual training is also a thing. So thank you very much for your attention, everyone. Really appreciate it. And yeah, Steph's just popped in the chat there. This is another very good point. If you think, okay, you know, I've seen something I'd really like to buy here today, then just reach out to your Picote reseller. If you're not sure who distributes Picote, then pop onto our website at picotegroup.com/resellers, and you can find by country there who our partners are around the world. So we don't have any further questions. We've had a few good wishes comments for the season. Thank you very much for that. And I'd like to thank the team again for a fantastic job as always. Thank you very much. And I'm not quite sure when our next webinar is going to be yet, but we will be reaching out in January with some more hot topics about Picote. So until then, thank you again for your attention. Please reach out at any time. And yeah, season's greetings. I really hope that everyone enjoys the holidays, and I hope you get a chance to have a little bit of a break too. So thanks from all of us, and best wishes. Take care until next time.
Yep. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you and bye.